Welcome to Stop Fighting with Your Son podcast. I'm Natalia Schneimler, and I'm here to teach you how to finally stop fighting with him and love him like crazy. Because we all want to love our boys, and I am here to help you. Listen up and find out how. Hey guys, how are you all doing this week? I'm doing so good. I just went for my morning walk, which is almost like a run because I walk so fast. Because I want to get my heart rate up because that feels so good. And that actually brings me to the topic I want to talk to you today about, which is contrast. Holy smokes, I just love this. The more I think about this concept, the more I love it. And here's why. Because it is such a useful way of looking at life. And here's how I first came to think of it is because the way I approached my business last year did not feel good. And what I'm learning now is that created an opportunity for me to see what it is that I do want for my business, for my people, for me. And how did it do that is by showing me how it feels in that specific way. It just felt pressured and forced and not good. And that helped me see what it is that I do not want. That created contrast for me to that was like my starting point, my bouncing off point. Like, oh, okay, I for sure do not want to do business this way. I for sure do not want to help people in this way, from this energy. This is what I want to do my work from. I want to do it from a feeling of this, like freedom and abundance. But I could only get to this point because I've experienced the opposite of it. And I experienced it on such a deep level that I know for sure that I don't want to feel that. And so it becomes crystal clear that I don't want that, right? So the contrast is a useful tool for us to figure out what we want by eliminating what we don't want. And as I started thinking of recording this episode for you guys, I realized that I've been using this tool like just in other areas of my life subconsciously. For example, with painting my nails, I always go do like a dark color, like almost like a dark brown or eggplant on my nails, and after that I always do like a neutral like skin color. I alternate. I go dark, I go bright, light, dark, light. And I love that. I'm like, ooh, after having it dark for a while, I want it light. Same thing on my toes. And I've just enjoyed it. I was like, this is fun. I just know exactly what I want. And I know that after having dark, I'll want light. I know that after having light, I'll want dark. And I've realized I do the same thing with my sheets, my bed sheets at home. I have like a white sheets, and then I have either darker gray or maybe like a cream color. So just like a contrast, right? You have bright, clean white, and then you have a dark. And the same thing I noticed on the way to the ski hill this weekend. I was really savoring that fresh air hitting my face. I was like really craving that, my legs getting tired and feeling the burn and just being outside in the cold air, and I was really craving it. But also at the same time, I knew how sweet it would be to sit back in the car after with my warm tea. It's the contrast that tastes so sweet, because not only do I like want the movement because I haven't moved today yet, but also after I have moved, I also want to not move because I've already moved. I want that rest for my muscles. And both of them taste so sweet side by side. Do you see what I mean? And the same with my walks. Like, it's much sweeter to me to walk or run because I get my heart rate up. I get hot. I feel my cheeks fill with blood. And then like I crave that because before that I feel kind of chilly. I feel like my blood's not moving. I just feel like stagnant, or, do you know what I mean, right? Like when you're craving exercise. And so I crave that, and then I get it. And after that, sitting down in the car also feels satisfactory. It feels like, yes, like I can now enjoy not moving with such a greater enjoyment because I know I've already moved. And so where else? Let me think of where else. Like the same thing we do with hunger. I feel like now that I'm paying so much more attention to my body, I'm doing that with hunger so much more. Like I want to get really hungry, or feel really empty and lean and kind of ready to have a really good meal, right? Because eating on a full stomach does not feel good, right? And so that is the contrast. We feel hungry, and then we eat. And so right after we eat, we're like, okay, now I want not to eat for a while, right? That's the contrast happens exactly when you reach that other point, that other extreme. So the reason why I'm bringing up all these examples of everyday life is because I want you to think about the contrast that happens in our everyday life, and we don't think of this contrast as bad and good. Okay, like hungry, not hungry. Like it's not bad and good. It's just two different states of being, right? Or walking and still, right? It's just two different points of your body. What else? Like nails. That's totally, who cares what color your nails are, right? So if we can think of this contrast as not good and not bad, it's just different, right? Different, that's a good word for it. Then how can we copy paste that same idea into other areas of our life where we do label the contrast as good and bad? For example, in my business, right? I was really calling it good and bad, right? Which that kind of judgment keeps me from experimenting with different, going back and forth, right? Trying different contrasts. And so if we take that label off of good and bad, and we really see that it's actually just a useful tool. Oh, this felt bad. What do I want now? Oh, I want this now. Okay, let's try this. Oh, I tried this. Actually, that was maybe way too much of this for me, right? Let's try this. So if we use the contrast as a useful tool and take the judgment away from it, then when something as you would usually label bad happens, you would not react to it and judge it as bad. You would use it as useful information to move forward. Right? Like, oh, gosh, I didn't like that. Oh, okay, now I know what I want. And then you focus your intention on what you want next, as opposed to dwelling on what you don't want now. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, this was bad. Oh, how come I didn't get that, right? If we judge it and we try to explain why it's bad and try to fix it and not do it again, we just stay in the energy of that contrast that we don't want, right? And so what a fun way to look at life. Especially I like thinking of it in terms of days. Oh, today I didn't have a good day. It didn't feel good. Oh, tomorrow I think it'll be a good day, right? Right away focus on bring it to what you do want. I want a good day tomorrow. Today didn't feel good. Okay, how can I make tomorrow better? Oh, you know what? I'll go to bed earlier. That was actually me yesterday. I was so tired. And I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do different. I just need to go to bed earlier. So I think this is such a useful way of looking at it. I know I've said it many times, but stay with me, right? I'm discovering it for me on this level, and I think it's so fun. The contrast, right? I'll give you another fun example because now I'm seeing everything through that lens. So I bought this really long puffy jacket because it's winter and I want to be warm. And all I want to wear now is my short puffy jacket, but I layer up really well underneath and even under my pants because I want to go for this
super fast walk, run, and the big jacket is going to get in my way. So it's so funny how all I wanted for this like one little period was a long, warm jacket so that I can like cuddle up and wait for my kids outside and like not feel any wind. And then I got it. And then when I had it, I felt the difference that, it feels better for me to go on a really fast walk and get my blood going and get my body really warm. That feels better than not moving and standing around in a long coat and trying to like not feel the wind. That's so fascinating, right? Like I had to buy the coat to experience it. And I mean, some days for sure I'll be like, I'm not going to go for a walk and I'll use the coat. But now I'm like, you know what? It's okay that I don't want to use this coat because I want to go move my body so fast that I get really warm in like -5 with a really big wind. How awesome is that? Like by the end of the walk, I'm just like flying. I'm just so happy. My body feels so good, and I am just pumped, right? I'm like, yes, this feels so good. And this actually brings me to the other point I wanted to make, which I think I'll do maybe another episode about, which is getting into your body. You know what? I'll save it for another episode because I think it's so very important for us to get into our bodies. So I'll bring different examples to that episode. But for now, I want to leave you with this contrast. Another thing I'm thinking about my clients who have kids. Another contrast that we have when we have kids is when we are with our kids a lot, and especially if they're little and require a lot of our attention, what we crave is some alone time. What we crave is some peace, maybe some quiet, some rest. And we crave, our kids sleeping so that nobody needs us, right? That is the contrast that we create for ourselves when we are with our children. And then as soon as we get that time away from our children, we kind of love them and we miss them and we want to hug them and squeeze them, right? Like I felt that. And so because that contrast is both of the desires are so strong, we go back and forth between the two of them, and we might be even confused, like, why do I even want to be with them? Because I'm so tired of them. But that is something that we experience so intensely. For myself, I guess I won't speak for you, but for me, I'm always constantly going back and forth between those two extremes. Like, oh my gosh, I missed you so much. Oh my gosh, you're driving me crazy, right? So those are the two contrasts that happen for us as parents. And they are intense, and they create the point from which we want the opposite, right? So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there just as another example for you to see that is something that we experience in our day, in our life all the time. All right, enough examples. Go use this tool, and when something happens that you don't like, instead of being upset about it and complaining about it and kind of dwelling in it and wishing it didn't happen, just zoom out and say, oh, okay, this is like the first step. What do I want my second step to be? If I don't want this, what do I want? What do I want to feel like next? If I don't like this, what do I want, right? Focus your attention on what you do want, and that's what you will get. All right, my friends, have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye. Oh, also, before I finish, I did want to add an invitation to somebody who wants to come along on this journey with me together on loving yourself better, more, and to stop beating yourself up and to really create this trusting relationship with yourself so that you stop suffering, and it will really kind of translate into all of your other relationships with your son, with your daughter, with your husband, with your mom. And this is the journey that I'm on, and I am taking it step by step, and I would love for you guys to join me if you want. You can find me. How can you find me? You can find me on Instagram my name is coaching_Natalia. And the way you do that is if you want to work on the same thing, I can be your kind of that leader who is like 2 steps ahead of you. And you can sign up for a consultation, which is on the link if you go like on my bio and Coaching Natalia in Instagram, you can find it there, or you can also just email me at natalia@coachingnatalia.com. I'll be happy to chat with you and bring you, and we can do this journey together. All right, guys, you got it. Bye.